You're locked into the Womanora Crush Wednesday podcast, the only weekly podcast inspiring, educating, motivating 1 million women entrepreneurs one Wednesday at a time. The WCW podcast is fueled by the purpose formula: passion plus purpose plus profit equals success. And here are your hosts, Jen and Modi.
Hey Crushes, it's WCW Podcast Show with your hosts Jen and Modi. Today we'll be talking about the balancing act of being a mother, being a wife, being a friend, being a sister, all that good stuff. One question that I wanted to ask Jen, what's something you've accomplished that you thought was impossible?
As far as when I was trying to balance, or just period?
Period, or even, trying to balance something, maybe, your child care or a child or, your husband, something in the family. Like, were you ever like in denial prior to getting that job or that goal done? Before getting it done, did you think it was impossible?
I don't want to say I thought it was impossible, but at my job, so in my work, career, professional life, whatever you want to call it, I have never wanted to be a manager, supervisor, manager, whatever, because I just didn't want to have the responsibility of managing people. And even though, management will come with more money a lot of times or whatever, I just didn't want the added responsibility that it will come with. Now, my current job is kind of like, okay, we want you to be this, team lead, whatever. And I am way more open now to doing it than I have ever been in the past. But I could already see that there's going to be some difficulties and some roadblocks. But I would say probably this year, that's probably something that I thought that would not happen or maybe would never happen, but that is happening currently.
Absolutely.
And, I just asked God for guidance on how to deal with these people and their personalities and asking for the support of my other coworkers to be able to carry it through. And that's just how I'm taking it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I go into it like I'm open to what you have to say, but if this is the direction that our higher ups is giving us, that I'm supposed to do X, Y, and Z, then don't question me on X, Y, and Z. Like, this is it. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to move forward. So that's it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Personally, what have I accomplished? A book. How they say, there's a quote.
Oh,
that they
yeah.
say,
talk about your book.
They say, how they talk about in the beginning of something is really hard, and in the middle it's kind of, and then at the end it's like, wow. Well, I'm still in the middle of my book, although the book is already done and it's out there. I haven't pushed it as much as I should probably push it. But other people believe in it, and I am starting to feel like I should too. And I do believe in the book. I don't know why I self-doubt myself often when I do things that others may look at like, wow. But for me, it's a learning process, I guess. I've accomplished so many things that I don't talk too much about, And I guess that's just the kind of person that I am. I just don't, not really braggadocious about things that I probably should be. I remember when I first got my master's degree and I had this, I forget what they call it, but it was like my name. My cousin got it for me for graduation, and it was my name with, right behind it, the MPA, like your master's. And it was there. And my cousin she got it for me to put on in my office. And at the time I was only like 25, 24 or something. And I was really, really afraid to put it out there because I didn't want the old heads looking at me like, who does this young lad think she is coming in here with this? I mean, she thinks she got a master's degree and I had to work 30 years to get to where she is in 2 years. So a lot of me I didn't want to put it out there. Actually, I turned it around and only I was able to see it for some time until those older ladies came in and they were like, you need to be proud of this. You need to turn it around. You need to show the world, So, again, I'm working on, showing the world, I guess, the best of me.
That's good. Well, 2018, do that.
Yeah, 2018.
I really wanted to title this show like, girl, there is no balance, because let's just tell a little secret. So actually, we already recorded this episode.
Yeah.
Medee and I, and this is something that we probably would have like stressed over like about a year ago or so. We recorded the episode. It was a great episode. We were ready to put it out. The next day, Medee was ready to work on it. So she texts me. So she says, like, did you record it? Did you actually, when I say recorded, did you tape it pretty much? And so I said, no, I thought you did. And so she said, no, I didn't. So basically we were talking to ourselves for 30 to 40 minutes, maybe. Mm-hmm. And came out of that with no episode. But nowadays we're pretty much just like, okay, well, we'll do it. We'll try it again next week or whatever. But I know previously we probably would have been like, oh, we got to get this done tonight. Or
right.
Yes, we would have been stressed out about it. Like, what are we going to do? But things just go on. And I just want to say, in the balance of life, something is always falling by the wayside. I can be great in my job and then, maybe come home and I'm slacking, I'm not working out, or I'm not taking care of my household like I need to be because I'm staying late at work, or maybe I didn't really do as much with the kids as I wanted to because I had my mind on this other thing. Or I feel like, we can be great maybe in one thing or 2-3 things, whatever, but there's always something that's going to sacrifice and fall by the wayside while you're being great in these other things.
Absolutely.
Medee, how do you feel about that?
I don't know if you've ever gotten that question, like, do you want to take a break from adulting?
Duh.
Everyone wants to take a break from adulting. And the balancing act, again, balancing act. The balancing act on social media will show you.
Oh, God.
I know.
Social media had you underneath a rock somewhere. Don't even try.
Listen, do the best that you can. Okay.
With what you have right now.
With what you have right now. Because life is too short for you to be stressing your life out about what cannot be done right now. Okay? Listen, if it can't be done right now, it'll be done later. If you're tired to the brim and there are dishes in the sink, you gonna wash it right now or you gonna wash it later? When you get some rest.
Probably tomorrow,
right? I mean, Jen, we've had this conversation before about laundry.
Oh, God.
How many times have we had to put the cycle back on?
The same load of clothes,
the same load of clothes.
By the time, God forbid, it's darks. By the time you finish that one load, those black jeans are ashy. Girl.
But see, you could wear ashy jeans now. It just seems like
you can, but I'm just saying that just happened in one day. That ash came on there today. 3 loads.
3 loads, and it's not even just 3 loads per se. It's that one load 3 times.
Exactly.
For me, you know what? I actually read today that it's imperative for mothers, more so mothers, okay? For mothers to have a place in the house. You need to form a place in your home that it's for you, that everyone in the house knows that's mom's, that's my wife's area, that's what even if there's no TV there or anything, a place that you need your own serenity, where you can get your own balance, where you can get your own sanity. Every woman needs it, and most women have it in their bedroom. I remember watching War Room. Some people make a war room out of their closet. Whatever the case may be, I think that it's very imperative for every woman, especially if you're a wife and a mother, to have an area in your room where it's like, when you get into that place, it's your place. When you walk in there, it's all about me. It's for me.
Yeah. Right now, mine is in my bedroom, but that's because we live in a townhouse and there's not a lot of extra space. But however, if I was building my home, which will be at some point,
amen,
building a bigger home, that room needs to have a balcony in which when I wake up in the morning, let's say 5 o'clock, 5:30, whatever it is, and it's a nice day, or if it's a weekend, go out there, you could do your devotional, have coffee, tea. That's like my ultimate, what I would want, to just have that little balcony off of the room to go out, sit there in peace, quiet, just in nature or wherever you live. It doesn't even matter what's the sounds outside, but just to get that early bird time with yourself outside. That's like everything.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying, today was that day for me where I was just like, no, I'm not cooking. We're going to order out. We went to church, but other than that, I'm not leaving the house. I'm not cooking. I'm not going to finish this laundry. I'm not doing anything. I just cannot. I can't do it today. My husband was very supportive, which was good. He was like, you need to take rest sometimes. I mean, if today you want to rest, you are always doing something every day. So if today you're resting, you're resting. And it's just like, I think as women, obviously we do so much and we have so much on our to-do list and so much that we carry around as kind of like a burden. And we need to just be okay with just not doing it, or just saying no to things that we have to do or that we told ourselves that we have to accomplish that day, or little things that kind of build up, like, oh, I need to vacuum. And then you're like, oh, I didn't vacuum. Okay, you're going to vacuum tomorrow.
Right. It's imperative, ladies, at the end of the day, what we are talking about is self-care. Okay? I know that it may sound selfish sometimes, but guess what? It's okay to be selfish.
Yeah,
it's okay.
And I see a lot of women saying that they don't really know how to self-care online, on Instagram or wherever. And some women are saying now, these are women in their 30s and 40s even, that are saying like, oh, I'm just getting to self-care, or I don't really know how to do this. And I'm like, I'm selfish with my self-care, because this is without care of self, like how will you care for others? Like how will you even function?
You know what? Life today is totally different from the 80s. Okay? It's different from the 70s. We're not women of the 70s or the 80s. A lot of us were probably born in the 80s or the 70s or the 60s. However, life is not like that no more. We're more acceptable to a woman saying, guess what? She needs a break. And it's just in like a few years, Jen. Because if you really want to be honest, 10 years ago, if you said I was depressed, people would look at you like, girl, you better shake that thing off and get to work. No one understood that, and especially women of color. Women of color do not know when to say no sometimes. Like we're like Energizer bunnies. And we get it. A lot of us get it from what we've seen. Like a lot of us
our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts,
exactly.
We are raised with a strong black woman.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with strong black women, but we cannot do it all.
Absolutely. And see, if you were raised by only women in your household and all those women worked and all those women just everything was work, you are more than likely going to be just like that. But you have to find time to say, I can't do that right now. Okay, you need a mental break. You need a mental day from work from time to time, but for us women of color, we really need to take, I guess we need to say it. We need break. I need a break, Jen. I need a break. Or can you just listen, just hear me out. I need to talk. I need to vent, and, Jen and I being married women, I believe, I'm a full-blown believer of married women, like, I feel like you cannot have conversations with someone that's not on your level. Like, if they're not married, if your friends are not married, I don't think that talking to them about your marriage or what's going on within your marriage is wise. That's just my take on it. It's just like, for instance, when I was pregnant with my first son, and I moved to Houston, I went to the doctor, and come to find out this woman, she's a gynecologist. She's been, delivering babies. However, she has no child. She has no children. All she knows is books and what she's been doing. I guess hands-on experience has helped her, but for me, what else can she do for me but deliver my baby? She can't tell me, right. She cannot tell me, 2 hours after your baby is born, no more than 2 hours after your baby is born, you need to put that baby on your breast for breastfeeding so your baby can be aware and used to your scent, everything, But it wasn't until I got another doctor where I think she has 11 children. I love her. Long hair. Her hair is like to her foot. I'm surprised she doesn't step on it, But wow. She helped me so much because that first one, my son wasn't latching on. I was stressed out. I just had a C-section. I didn't feel like a woman. I felt like something was taken from me because all that time being pregnant with your first child, and I'm reading all these books, and all the books are telling me, C-section. And I would take that whole C-section chapter and just change that entire chapter. I wouldn't even read it, only because I felt like, no, that C-section will not happen to me. I know I'm going to have my baby. No one's going to tell me I'm going to have a C-section. Well, 16 hours later in labor, they told me I'm going to have a C-section. All I could do was throw up because I was so much in pain, trying to have this baby. But I wasn't told that. That's crazy. Right. I wasn't told after having him that he was supposed to come straight to me for me to breastfeed him. You get what I'm saying? And I was very particular. I wrote to the nurses, no formula. I want to breastfeed. It was a very difficult process for my first child. But after that, I got with another doctor, this one with several children. She was able to tell me what I needed to know for the first time, instead of paying $100 an hour to a lactation support that couldn't really help me, give milk to my baby. So what I'm saying is, don't take it so serious. You know, like don't
That's so
take
personal.
things. Yeah, don't take things so serious and so personal. Like whatever you can do it for you. Do it for you first. If anything, do it for you first, and then worry about everybody else, because everybody else that you're worried about, you can worry about them. That's fine. But how about if you on the floor, on the ground, dead? Then what? Then what?
And everybody else is moving on with whatever they're doing
Right.
at the end of the day.
Right.
So, this balance, I don't want women to try to force it, to try to live up to something that's like really not going to happen.
Absolutely.
And we're talking, but we also are talking to ourselves, because every day, I'm just trying to, I don't know if you guys heard in the last episode, I'm about a week and a half away from having my second child. Mm-hmm. And, there's so many things that come with pregnancy, that come with having a baby afterward. I actually would love to talk about this in an episode. So if you're interested in postpartum, just how we feel, things that we've experienced, things that we've read, we might even try to do some sort of, poll on it. But there's things that maybe I did that you didn't do, or that Madi did, or that she heard about, or, like the herbal bath. I did not do that afterward. Mm-hmm. That's something that I am now going to do with this second birth, for healing, if you've had a vaginal birth. Something that we do in our family is steaming after the vaginal birth, to close everything, afterwards. So there's certain things that maybe people do and don't do that we all can learn from. So
yeah, I mean, we do that with C-sections too. And hey, shout out to the black women, just because. I just want to
definitely
shout out.
I'm behind all black women.
Absolutely. It's a big mood. Now because we're turning our gears into another kind of podcast, another kind of feel. It's going to be like we've mentioned before. It's going to be very authentic. We're going to be talking about us, our daily lives, how we get around adversity, how we are trying to keep the balance, being a wife, a mother, friend, sister, whatever you call yourself sometimes.
How we're trying to thrive and live our best life. We'll still have some awesome guests.
Absolutely. Yes.
One thing that I want to take note that we should talk about in 2018 is how we even got to making the podcast about entrepreneurship mostly, and then how we're transitioning out of that. Because like you said, I think, I'm not going to say that the tone or topic of entrepreneurship wasn't authentic, mm-hmm. because it was, but I think that this new era and what we're talking about now is way more natural, way more authentic, and just really, I feel, is needed.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's very important.
Not that we're never going to talk about any business topics. We are. It's definitely a part of our lives, but we are women and mothers and wives first before entrepreneurs. So, this is definitely something that's more near and dear to our hearts and everyday lives.
Absolutely. So with that being said, I think we're going to call this a show. You can reach us at WCW Podcast Show on Twitter.
Or WCW Podcast.
Or
either one.
WCW Podcast on Instagram. Wherever you listen to our episodes, we'd love if you could rate us. Let us know how we're doing. You can always be free to send us an email or to hit us up on any of our social media handles. We're open to some new ideas. If you do have some fresh new ideas, if you'd like to collab with us, we only try to collab with other women, most especially women of color, and other mothers or other wives, just to get a feel for our daily lives in general. So if you like the show, let us know on Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to any of our podcasts.
Thanks for tuning in to the Womanore Crush Wednesday podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for Girl Talk with Jen and Modi, along with some of your favorite business crushes, more exclusive business tips, insights, creative business ideas, and doable action steps to improve your business and help you create your phenomenal life. Sharing is caring. Don't forget to tell a friend to subscribe and stay tuned for a weekly dose of the WCW podcast. Crushing hard on a womanore and want to hear her story on the show? Know a creative woman-owned business that's killing it? Let us know at womanorecrushwednesday@gmail.com.